Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. And today in the Crazy Baker kitchen I'm going to be making French battens, or they could be called French sticks. Wherever you are in the world you'll have your own name for what the product's called. Please subscribe and please share, and don't forget your recipe is below the video in the description, and also you can find it on my Facebook page at The Traditional Bakery. Anyway, we'll get right on with the video. And for your recipe, you want 532 grams of baker's white flour. It best be the strong stuff, or you can use whatever flour you like to use yourself at home. 354 grams of warm water, and in that I've actually put 5 grams of oil, 32 grams of baker's yeast, 10 grams of salt, 10 grams of bread improver, and 5 grams of sugar. Right, the first job you want to do is get yourself a whisk. Into the water, pop the sugar and your yeast. Best idea is to break it down as much as you can. Just whack it all in. And just whisk it up. Now this is a quick way of making bread. In the trade we call it no time. And we mean no time. There's not much waiting around. Well, allegedly. A good idea when you're in your kitchen, this is just a little tip, get your little self a thermometer. And the important job of baking any type of bread or anything like that is the temperature. So we turn on our temperature. Now, I've literally just turned it straight on. So I know this room itself is around about 32 Celsius. So it hasn't moved yet, but it will go to 32, give or take. And then what we do is we test the flour temperature, because if your flour is too stone cold, you want to warm it up. And the same with your liquid. If it's too cold, it'll slow everything down. And it's the same with your bowl. If your bowl's too cold, it'll slow it all down. So you want to make everything fairly warm. You want to keep it to your room temperature, everything. That's my tip. I won't mess around with the scientific part of this because you're at home. And bakers obviously know their professional way of doing things. And my way is actually checking everything beforehand with my hand, and all I do is pop my hand straight into the ingredients, and I can tell by the temperature everything by my hand. But then that's my experience with all my years of experience I got. You pop it into a flour, you know what temperature that is, you got a good idea. Now for the machine you want a hook. That's the important part of it. So first job, we're going to pop in our liquids. Put on our hook. Now just add in your flour. And your salt and your improver. And let the fun begin. So we'll start the machine off on first speed. Now we're going to give that 1 minute. And that's just a mix round to get everything off the bowl and all blended in a little bit. Now remember, with these machines, they're not supposed to be hammered. So when you're making dough with a machine, it doesn't matter if it's a Kenwood, a Kitchen Chef, or a Timbuk2 machine. You'll find that the cogs are nylon and they wear out fast, and also the motors will burn out fast. So this is why we say at home you want to be doing your high speed mixing in intervals. So it could be 1 minute stop, 1 minute stop, or you could do 2 minute stop. It depends on your machine. This is a 500 watt machine, So it's not going to take the punishment that you guys, if you've got one that's got 1000 watt. It's about a minute. All we're going to do is just scrape off the hook. And now we're going to whack it on to second speed. But with most machines, build up to the speed. The idea, we're now going to be mixing this for 6 minutes on this speed. Now, if you take it any higher than this, on this particular machine, I'd probably burn it out. So I'm going to keep going on this speed for around about 6 minutes. Really, you want to be on third speed, but my machine won't take it. Now, if I was in the bakery, I'd be whacking my machine on top speed for 6 minutes. So we've got to make do. And the idea, you want your dough, it wants to be nice and creamy and elasticated. And what I mean by intervals is like you could actually turn it up. With this one, you have to hold on to it and then slow it back down. Right, she is really mixing quite well. I have actually added a little bit more flour to the dough because it was a little bit soft. We're going to give her a scrape down now. The water consistency can vary amongst the different types of flour. This, I'm not too far away from what it should be. Well, that's that. All we're going to do is get a bit of flour and just mould it into a ball in the bowl. Like that. All we're going to do now is just leave this for around about 10 minutes. You don't need any longer because the rest of the work could be done later. So all we're going to do is just cover it over with a tea cloth. And we'll come back in about 10 minutes. We're now ready. Put that on the table. It don't have to be long. It's the bread improver that makes this stuff move, and also the amount of yeast. So what we're going to do, split it into 4 pieces. It doesn't have to be accurate. I mean, no one's going to really make much difference, right? And just roll them out into little balls. And all we're going to do is cover those over. Going to leave them there for around about 5 minutes. That's all you need. And whilst we're waiting for these, you need your rolling pin and a cooling tray, or what you're going to bake off on. What you need is some paper. This is baking parchment, or you can use silicone paper or whatever you normally use. Right, it's now time to put your prover on. So you want that warming up. Or if you haven't got a heater in it, then you'll just use it as it is. But I've currently got that on, and it's actually up to 30 Celsius in there. And the actual room is actually 32 in here, in the kitchen. So I don't expect that to go up too much. I think it's going to be hovering around. If it stays at that constant temperature, that's great, because it'll just work out nice. Right. Now what we're going to be doing with these, we're going to be rolling them out. on the table, then just get hold of them, and all we're going to do is roll them up. So like a little, what I call sausage. And that was simple, wasn't it, guys? And you need your tray. And now we need to be rolling these out to your length of your tray. And you want to be keeping this fairly even right the way through. And I always reckon, if I was teaching someone today, the same sort of thing is best to start from the middle of the dough, and you start rolling it down to the amount you want it to be. So I reckon about that, and then just roll it out. So it makes it nice and even. And where you've got your little line along the bottom, you want to be putting that down on the tray. Once again, take the center, roll it down to where you need to be, and then roll it out. And make sure that line is on the bottom of the tray. Well, that's it, guys. It's as simple as that. Now all we're going to do is put them into the proving box. Well, inside the box temperature at the moment is about 32 Celsius. And I've got my water in there. Put our French in. They should take around about 3/4 of an hour to prove, give or take. Pop our lid on. In around about half an hour, pop your oven on. Your oven temperature wants to be up to a minimum of 225 Celsius. I will have a look inside. There's our dough pieces. And what I'm going to do now is cover them with tiger paste. Or in the bakery industry, we call it wallpaper paste. So all we're going to do is spread it over the top. Nice and thick. You see it's almost like wallpaper paste. I will put a recipe down below in the description for you. And now we'll put our lid back on. Well, there we go, guys. This is 30 minutes and let's have a look. Oh, they're ready. So we'll just take them out very carefully. And now I'm going to transfer them over onto a baking tray. Right, and now we'll get them into the oven. First thing we're going to do is pop some water in the bottom of the oven. Now the steam's in the oven, we'll just pop them in. The oven temperature is 220 Celsius. And we're going to be baking them in the oven for around about 15 to 20 minutes. Right, the bread's ready. We'll get it out. And there we go, guys. Look at that. Cracking. If you want more videos like this, guys, please subscribe and please share. And don't forget, your recipe is below the video in the description. And also you can find it on my Facebook page at The Traditional Bakery. And we'll see you again very shortly on the Crazy Baker channel in the Crazy Baker kitchen. Laters! This is the Crazy Baker channel. Baking. Lifestyle. Recipes. Reviews. I am the Crazy Baker. Please subscribe and please share. Laters!